Let's talk about what it takes to get people to want to buy your services even before you've pitched them, even before you've talked about what it is that you're selling. This is going to be so juicy, and it's one of those topics that I really love going into because it's one of the main things that I love doing for my clients and helping them do. And also, I thrive of watching this happen in my own business as well. It's like, yes, when I get messages from people who are like booking calls with us and hopping on sales calls and like, okay, I'm ready. Like, what do I have to do? How do I start? It's like, I've done my work correctly. I have done my work. So here's the thing. What we want to ideally do, in an ideal, perfect world, what we want to do is through the content that we're putting out there to get people to reach out to us and be like, damn, woman, I am ready to work with you, right? Like we want to pre-sell our offers and we want to build demand for the work that we're doing. And we can do this through effective messaging. Well, there's a few things that need to be taken into account, right? But we're going to talk first about messaging and then we're going to talk about the other spicy little thing in a moment. So let's begin with messaging. Creating demand for what you do really comes down to you being able to effectively communicate to your audience why the thing that you're selling is something that they need. And the best way to do this, and I've talked about this in other episodes and other videos and other things, is to really understand what the cause of the problem that your audience has is right now. Like what is the thing that is actually making the problem that they have worse? What is it? How do we describe it, right? And the better that we are at describing it and then talking about how this other thing is going to be the thing that solves that problem, the more likely these people are going to see and understand the value behind what you're selling. So we call this building a domino belief, a breakthrough message, the big idea. There's a lot of different ways this is called, right? I call it the breakthrough message, and I often refer to it as this domino belief. And it's essentially this premise behind what it is that you're doing. What is the hypothesis? What is the theory? What is the thing that you're actually selling? And what you want to do ideally is that through the content that you're creating, again, whether it's videos or emails or posts or webinar, whatever you're doing, whatever, lo que te gusta, whatever it is that you like, what we want to do ideally is infuse everything with that domino belief. Infuse it with this thing that we're trying to prove. At the end of the day, you want to prove to your audience that what you have to sell is the thing that they need. Now, that doesn't mean that you're coming in from a place of convincing energy and you're kind of being manipulative and trying to get people to buy from you just for the sake of it. And you're like tricking them into making that decision. That is not at all what I'm saying. What I am saying is that we have to prove to your audience that what your theory is, what your hypothesis is actually the thing that these people need to be able to build the success that they want in whatever area, right? Whether we're talking about health and relationships or personal development and business, it doesn't matter, right? So what that means for you is you have to make sure that the content that you're creating, whatever you're doing, how you're crafting it, is really taking into account that cause of the problem and really being able to effectively describe and prove to your audience that the cause is the lack of the thing that you teach or the thing that you sell, right? So all of your content needs to do a great job of proving this. And you prove this through a variety of different ways, right? You prove it by bringing in analogies and storytelling and anecdotes that will be effective around that, or you prove it to them by showing like actual scientific proof or explaining to them the actual way that things or the way that things work. So there's different things that you can do to prove to your audience that this breakthrough message or this domino belief is true. And that way, the more that we include that into it, the more demand that you're going to be creating for your offer. Another little trick that I've learned over time is that you want to repeat that breakthrough message as often as you possibly can throughout the video, the webinar, the thing that you're putting out. So for example, in my case, my big breakthrough message is that people don't have a marketing problem, they have a messaging problem, or they have, even to go deeper, a premium messaging problem. They're not communicating to the premium version of their audience, and they're not communicating about themselves in the premium way. So what I like to do is repeat that phrase, you don't have a marketing problem, you have a messaging problem, as often as I possibly can throughout my content. And again, I'm bringing in proof and showing people the cause of the problem, showing people all of these different things that they haven't even realized are making the problem worse for them. And at the same time, I keep on repeating that message. And then the other piece that really allows you to create more demand for what you do before you've even pitched or sold or told people like the details of your program or all of that, comes down to the energy in which you're showing up, right? It's that certainty that you have within yourself. And you can see it in just the way in which you're showing up, right? It's, I believe in what I'm saying, and I am certain of what I'm saying. And I'm sure that you have all experienced at one point buying from somebody that had all of the belief in the world, and then the product or service that they sold was not that good. And the opposite of that is like people that don't have that certainty and have great programs, right? Certainty is it's everything. It's you showing up in absolute and total belief in the things that you're selling and why they're important to you and why you're standing behind them. So the more that you're showing up in that energy of absolute knowing that this is the best thing in the world, and you're proving to these people why they need it and why it's important, the more that you're going to be able to create demand for what you do. Hopefully this is making sense. I do have a training where I explain this in much more detail. Make sure you go to readytoinvestclients.com, because in that training, I actually show you more of how to do this effectively, how to really show up in a way that gets people to that attracts those ready to invest clients, how to position yourself as the premium version as well. So all of these things will make it much easier for people to say, okay, I'm in and I don't even know what you have to sell. I have to tell you that doing this in our business has changed everything. We attract these people who are absolutely perfect and ideal clients in every possible way that you could possibly imagine. And it's sometimes it's mind-blowing to me how much what I'm telling you right now is true. I mean, obviously I know this is true. I've studied this for years. I've studied this like my whole professional career basically, and I've seen it with clients. But sometimes I look at my clients and I say, wow, this is really impactful and this is really powerful. The type of people that we end up attracting and how on point they are, right? And a lot of these people, they're coming in and are ready to join even before they know the details of how my program works and all of that. So this is truly, truly powerful. Let me know in the comments if this resonated, if this is something that you are curious to learn more about, and make sure that you follow me or you subscribe everywhere that you can. I'm Fabi Paolini everywhere. The Breakthrough Pen Show on Apple Podcasts as well. So I can't wait to see you there and to leave a comment. Let me know if this resonated, and I can't wait to see you in another